welcome everybody back to the Retro Matador. We have been gone, had a hiatus, but now we're back. I'm RetroDetro.
And I'm Matador Gabe. What's good? What's good, EJ? It's
So
like I hadn't even seen you for a long time, dog. But we
I
back.
see you not too long ago, but we are back, and we will be doing some reviews, mostly horror reviews, but also the occasional movie review and TV show, starting the new season and new episode of The Penguin.
Ooh.
Matador, how did you feel about this? And we'll go into the show and our review after, but what's some of the first things that come to your mind when you watch the show?
Oh man, listen. The coolest thing about this episode, this show starting up, is that I'm back in my world of Batman. I'm just here. Like, I know Batman's not gonna be in it, and they told me that, but I still feel his presence. He's there. And
Oh
this is
yeah,
the
like
world left over from from everything that we saw in the Batman movie. This
yeah.
world just picks right back up, and here we are with Oswald Cobb, and my boy, he's already starting to do all the things that you would expect for him to do, and I'm really liking the gritty tone that it's got right off the bat.
No, seriously, like how what you said is it feels like Batman's presence is still there. The thing is, this show takes place not even a week after the Batman ends, and as soon as I sat down, I was like, "Oh, the Batman's still helping Gotham PD fish people out of the dead people out of the water." Like, and the Penguin is already wreaking havoc, and there's not enough bandwidth for Batman to even be in the show. So it does give that necessary commentary to add to what Oswald can do before
Right.
the Batman catches on to what he can do.
Right, right, exactly, and we go straight in from like the scene, the last scene you see Oswald. That's the scene they used to start the show off, and I was like, yeah, this is what we
Perfect.
wanted. This is what we wanted.
So, with us giving the recap of the Batman, you have the Riddler bombing the walls of the floodgates of Gotham. Everyone pretty much lose the poor losing their homes, losing their lives, things of that nature. And then you have Falcone who's gone. So who's gonna take the rings? Who's gonna be the next mob boss? And
Right.
this is your element. Okay, so how do you feel about now? We don't have Carmine anymore. We have Maroni. We have Sophia Falcone.
Right.
What are some of those things that you feel? Because there's other gangsters involved, but what's something that you want to see shake out in this mob war?
Yeah. So I mean, I think they did a really good job. Like, all right, who's gonna take the brass ring next from the Falcone family? Right. Obviously, his son right off the bat. He's like, I'm gonna be that guy. I mean, Oswald was doing some Oswald stuff, trying to, take care of some things that he knew was there, and then the son shows up, and all it takes is a little insult, and then, bro, like, I mean, that's the end of that storyline, and now you have my boy
Without too many
dealing with.
spoilers. Without too many spoilers.
All I'll say is my boy is in for a treat dealing with Sophia, because her character right now is very fresh for a lot of people, and so seeing what she's gonna be like and not really knowing much about her if you don't like go dig deep through comics to figure out who she is, like it's gonna be very good to see how that develops. And he's already doing his thing where it's like, sure, I'm not trying to be the king of Gotham. Meanwhile, he is definitely trying to be the king of Gotham.
Seriously, and like you said, if you don't know much about Sophia, we're not going to give you too much, but just know that she's actually terrifying. She could be one of the most terrifying gangsters in Gotham.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
but Oswald is doing this like cat mouse rat game in Gotham, and it's very Oswald, and it's very apparent up front when you first watch the show. But he, at the same time, is relatable. and
Yeah.
it's hard to like get on Oswald's side to be like, I kind of feel where you're going for.
Well, definitely what they did with Oswald now, the Penguin for the Batman, is they took him away from his like elements of being a rich bastard son of like one of the rich families of Gotham that was just abandoned because he looks like shit and a freak. And now you've taken him and said, well, guess what? Oswald's from the hood, just like you. And he's just trying to do what, like he said, I'm trying to take what they ain't giving me. I'm gonna just go take what's mine, and that's it. Like, that's a different mindset that lets us attach to him because if we don't come from those rich families, it's almost hard to relate to Batman in that sense, like Batman's sense of justice and all these things. But he comes from rich family, and sure, it's the orphan story and it's sad, but he's still made of money we couldn't imagine having. And then you have Oswald, who's like, I'm gonna get all this power, and it's gonna be straight from just right here, dog. Every move that I make is all just from my brain and not so much handed to me. I had to do it all, and that also what makes his new little sidekick Victor a very good character, because it's almost like he's taking us under his wing, right? And
Yes.
that's kind of like a much better dynamic, which makes him a little bit more relatable.
So when you bring in Victor into the conversation, we've already kind of offline discussed this, who we think who Victor is, but we're not going to say it today. But after rewatching it again, Victor does visualize a Batman character, not a villain, and this one's not a spoiler. It's very honest. When he's introduced, he's a Penguin version of Jason Todd.
Right. Yeah, I can feel that.
But he may be someone else in Batman's history that we're not 100% sure about. They are keeping his backstory and everything under wraps. So that is a very intriguing part of Victor, because he's a very timid kid. He stutters when he's nervous. But what are we going to see evolve out of this kid?
Right, exactly.
And that's what keeps it so interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole point of this world, right? Like, even with Oswald's character, from the movie standpoint, he did a lot of like cool stuff, but we didn't like really get a lot of development of who he is. We just got to see like his role in Gotham. We got to see him working for Falcone. We got to see him at the Iceberg Lounge. We got to see him in his element, but we don't get to see like the way all his cogs are moving around, and the way he's very manipulative of everyone, and how he's playing chess with everybody, right? And so we're getting to see that, and that's really cool, because it's going to show like what somebody in Gotham, like what their thought process is. And for Victor, it's very similar to that, and in a sense that with Victor you're going to see how he goes from just a kid trying to eke his way through, and he's doing stuff he shouldn't be doing because maybe that's just the group of people he's hanging out with, but now he's on the Penguins team.
In the light.
Yeah,
He's in the light. He's Michael to Tony Soprano's like Sopranos. Like,
right.
He's gonna be this character that you have sympathy for, but at the end of the day, like, he's still in that life, and he's living that life, and he kind of chose it, maybe not on purpose, but he chose it because he needed to get somewhere in life.
He has to make that choice. I'm either finna die because he's about to kill me, or I'm about to just give you my devotion, and that's it. And so, I mean, he made the choice.
He did make a choice, but we do have to see where that choice leads and where it takes us. But I do want to go back to the cinematography, the visuals of this movie, or show, I'm sorry. That's how, when I say movie, I mean, that's how good the visuals are. It still makes it feel like you're in the Batman, but you feel more of Gotham in this, and it's so gritty, and it's so nasty, and it's in a good way. It's better than, and people are going to be mad at me, this Gotham is better than Tim Burton's Gotham.
Oh, for sure. I I can understand why they'd be mad, but it's more of a nostalgia factor, and it's cool the whole '40s vibe stuff. But this is way cooler, in my opinion. This is modern Batman. The world they created it's a good mix for Gotham, and I think also like the feel is much different just because the Batman's not brooding over everything. Like in that one, it's like the music was constantly like dun dun dun. Like it's just like Batman's always here, and right now it's kind of like, I mean, he's not around. Like and that's the wild part. Like I wonder how much story they can tell without him being around. Like are they gonna mention him though? Like they kind of did like in the very beginning, but like I want to see how often they have to be like, oh well, Batman whooped some of them fools over there, right? Like, or are you just gonna be like they're doing all of this and he never even comes in and sniffs anything? Like I that would be too far fetched for me. And like so far, I'm blown away from the first episode, so hopefully that continues.
So, with you even saying it feels like the movie still, I mean, even Michael Giacchino's original Something in the Way, but Batman Something in the Way comes in at several points in the movie or show. Sorry, I keep getting it mixed with it because it feels like it's a continuation of the movie. Um, but Michael Giacchino's sound comes back in, and you're right. It doesn't feel like Batman's there, but it feels like a smooth continuation into Gotham. So, is that soundtrack necessarily Batman soundtrack, or is it Gotham's soundtrack? Is Gotham a character finally now within the Batman?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's more so of like, well, but that's like the opportunity that they get with doing a show is now they're showing me that that's not just the music for the Batman, right? Like
Yeah,
that's just the atmosphere of Gotham, and that's what it's gonna feel like moving forward.
yeah. So with everything that we said tonight, I do want to get your final thoughts on just overall what you think so far, and just that. Like, how do you feel, and what do you think could possibly happen?
Well, um, from where we're at, I I really liked episode one. I thought it was really good. A really great introduction. It had a lot of tension, and a lot of questions were brought up, and a lot of potential pathways for the story to go. So there's not just one thing that I'm focused on. Like I want to see how crazy Sophia is because for me, she's our first person from this world that's coming from Arkham. We
Yeah,
saw the Riddler go to Arkham at the end, and we saw that the Joker was there, and we know that there's other people there, but she's the first one that we're getting to see, like, the aftermath of Arkham coming out. And so
yeah,
I'm curious to see how they treat that. Also, just, what other, what some of the choices that they've made. I'm particularly focused on like how he's gonna do anything right now where he's in jail. Like how much is he gonna rely on the Penguin like he wants him to, and then how long is it gonna take for them to understand that Penguin's just playing everybody, right?
yeah.
Like and so that's one thing, and then obviously with Victor, like I'm super excited to kind of just get a fresh character but that I'm already liking. I really like his character so far, and I just want to see, is he gonna have that moment? My prediction for him, and we kind of talked about it before, is he's right now he's wearing his street clothes, and that's how he's tagging along. But like he's got to level up to the point where he's gonna be wearing the suits and rocking the stuff just like the Penguin is, because it feels like he's not just gonna be one of his thugs. That's like his right hand, like you was talking about, like a Robin character for him.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think Victor will level up. I think I have my theory on who he really is. But also I think this show is a segue into more. Again, this is a real world take on Batman, but also more fantastical villains for Batman. They do point out how Oswald has a purple car and it's so flashy, and that's a slight hint to let's do a little bit more. Let's introduce you into these flashy characters in
Right.
this real world because when you get your hands on money, like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
So I think this show is not just an introduction to Oswald. This show is going to be an introduction to the rest of the Batman movies. We only have 2 movies left.
Right.
So, where can those movies take us? And what journey possibly could they take us on? Because it is rumored that this show will lead in. This is a prelude to lead into the Batman sequel. So, we may be seeing characters we see in the movie. We may be seeing hints of things that we're not fully paying attention to until we see the Batman 2.
It's all good, bro. I mean, I'm super excited. It's more Batman stuff. I can't wait to see the next episode, and then, we'll take some time to review that thing, and, hopefully everybody here, wants to share their opinions about what they think of the show with us, and hopefully they enjoy that we're back, baby. We come back, and we're not going nowhere. We're going to be doing some movies and stuff, so look out for some of that when it starts to drop. Please, if you will, do us the kind favor of liking and subscribing to our content so that you will be at the front of the line when it drops. With all that being said, I do appreciate y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a good night.